listening to Evergreen Media Network. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partner Show. We are broadcast on 107.9 FM and also on 1370 AM, and this is podcast on Spreaker. We are talking about healthcare situations. Jeannie Roller, my co-host, is not with me today, but I have Dave from Virginia. This is the second podcast we're doing with Dave because we want to explain a couple of things to, at least I do. And then Dave, horribly enough, has another story to share, which is just unbelievable. Sometimes you just totally feel like a target, Dave. I know that I did when it happened to me, and I know you do, and so many other people. So the original podcast, we were talking about how you had the ultrasound, but we didn't preface the fact that you went into that ultrasound with the mindset of having cancer, because that's what they told you this possibly could be. And I'm here to tell anyone, we've all heard cancer in our society and whatever, but when it hits you at home, it's got a whole other dynamic, and your brain starts doing every possible thing it can about what's going to happen to you, when you're going to die, what you're going to do, and you know what the end results are. So that's the whole mindset. You were in that horrific procedure when they were discussing lunch and everything, when you're totally naked with people in the room. It's crazy. I mean, and I don't mean to laugh. It's just, it is nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Broken every rule that I've ever heard of in the medical industry. So now let's get to your second story. This is even more crazy. It's more nuts. I don't get it anymore.
Yeah. So, after the ultrasound incident, I prided myself on always being prepared for any kind of medical procedure or a visit. I always know who's touching me, what's going to happen. I dig into the details, right?
Right.
Devil's in the details. And so in July of this year, I had to have abdominal surgery. So I met with this surgeon. He was great. He answered all my questions. I asked questions like, do I have to shave? And he's like, please don't shave. We'll do it, right? Beg me. And so I acquiesced. He did tell me that I was going to have a catheter for a very short period of time after the surgery. And I said, okay.
A urinary catheter. Let's just make that point. A urinary catheter. Okay.
Correct. And so I went in thinking my eyes were wide open, and it was all my decision. So I had the surgery. It went great. Post-op, great. And they wheeled me to my room. When I got to my room, I literally got up and I was walking around. They told me they wanted me to be as active as I could. And so they left. And the first thing I did, Cindy, was go into the bathroom by myself. I wanted to see what the catheter looked like. And so looking at it, it's humiliating even when you're alone to know that somebody put this in and now I have a tube going into my body, right?
Right, yeah.
So I come out. I had friends and family there all day. I was walking around, working, right? And the female tech would come in just about every 3 or 4 hours to take my vitals. So late at night, around 11:30, I get in bed for the first time. And around 12:30, the tech comes in again. And she takes my vitals and then says, I need to disinfect the catheter. And so I had my phone in my hand. I put it down and I looked at her and I pointed to my groin and I said, you need to disinfect that catheter? And she said, yeah. And I said, the catheter itself, you have to disinfect. And she said, yeah, we don't want an infection. That's a very common thing. And I said, I'm getting it out in about 6 hours, like 6 a.m. I'm getting it out. And she said, yeah, but I still need to disinfect it. And so I'm thinking, okay, like I don't want an infection, right? So the humiliation of one, seeing myself again, and now watching her see me with this thing, right? So the blanket goes down, gown goes up, and she takes a hand with a sterile wipe, and she starts wiping my scrotum, and she's kind of getting in between my scrotum and my leg, and then she's trying to go under, like cup my scrotum, and so she can't do it because I'm laying in bed. So I literally have to lift myself off the bed, and now she's cupping me, trying to clean me. And then she's trying to do the other side. And so she can't get in between the other side of the scrotum and my other leg. So I'm now maneuvering myself to give her access. But all this time I'm thinking, when is she going to get to the catheter? She then takes another sterile wipe and goes around the shaft of my penis and then the head of my penis and then says, okay, thanks, and turns around and walks out. And when she walked out, I was in shock, Cindy. I'm thinking, she never touched the catheter. She never touched the tubing or the catheter. The only thing she did was clean me. As soon as I realized that, I was angry. I was humiliated. I felt tricked. And I'm thinking to myself, did she do this because that's how she got off on it? Was it personal? Does she do this to all men? Would she treat a woman like that? Would she clean a woman's vagina and never touch the catheter? Right? Is she just incompetent and doesn't know what she's doing?
Mm-hmm.
But that happened 2 months ago, and I still can't justify why she did what she did, and it still makes me angry. She could have handed me those wipes. I could have cleaned myself. I would have been very thorough. I've been cleaning that equipment my entire life.
Right? Yeah, I know.
No embarrassment, no nothing. There was no reason to do what she did. And so, looking back, I think I went in there smart and educated, but not smart enough because she got me. She tricked me.
Yeah, well, we can't think everything. You know what I mean? I said to you, we talked off air, that I thought maybe she just was, thought that she was doing a good job. And I'm trying to be, not thinking that they're doing this stuff on purpose. I mean, I'm certainly not paranoid about it, but I don't get it either, Dave. I really do not get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I told you in an email that when people I know were in nurses training, when you got to that point, if the person was lucid, which you obviously were, you weren't drugged out of your mind. I mean, who knows what they do to you when you are? I mean, that's the horrible thing. Hopefully, it's always the right thing. And, you could have done it yourself. I mean, I don't get what the special technique was. And I'm not a medical person, not a doctor, not a tech or anything. But what was the special technique that actually, sterilized the whole system? I can't figure it out by what you're saying. I mean, it's
she never
wow.
touched the catheter.
Yeah.
And so had she touched the catheter,
Yeah.
I would have been thinking, okay, right? Having never had one, I'm thinking, do they flush it? There was a piece attached to my thigh. I don't know what they do.
I don't either.
She specifically told me she had to disinfect the catheter.
Yeah.
She cleaned me.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that happened to you, and you beat yourself up because you think you got all the answers. Now, okay, you've been there before. I'm not going to let them hoodwink me, but I think at the end of the day, sometimes it's the people that will talk up. A lot of people don't know about this stuff. Some people don't care. They're just like, all right, do whatever you want. They've seen 100 things or whatever before, and that's their right to think that way. And, some of us just think differently. And it's not about modesty or specifically. It's about why is all this stuff being done? It's like, you should have told the patient all this stuff.
Cindy, I actually became an accessory in my in this because I lifted off the bed. I moved myself so she could get better access. I felt ridiculous that I helped her touch me for no reason. But I didn't know. I kept on waiting for the catheter part, and it never happened.
Yeah, I don't want to say for no reason. I'm gonna try to chalk it up to say these people just are not educated. Maybe she thought that's all there was to sterilizing a catheter or what that meant. I have no clue.
But if she thought that, she could have handed me them and told me to do that.
Yeah, I know.
I was completely lucid, and I could have done it very easily.
Yeah,
and privately.
You can analyze it all day long, Dave. I don't know that we'll ever get the answer.
No.
And I know that nobody you don't want to hear that because you're in the situation.
Right.
It's happened. So we got 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. I want to hear what you're thinking about doing going forward because you got to go forward.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not in therapy. This hasn't ruined my life. But I am angry.
Yep.
And I want to try to stop other people from this happening. Right. I would tell people that as soon as you think something's wrong, stop it. I should have stopped the ultrasound.
Mm-hmm.
The first time she just took the blanket off of me, right? Unprofessional, no reason. As soon as she started touching me and not the catheter, I should have said, hey, why are you touching me there? You should be cleaning the catheter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told me. I should have called her out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have called her out afterwards, but I didn't. So what am I doing now? I'm trying to speak out. I post things online. I contact people who have similar experiences. That's how we got connected through medical patient modesty, right? And I'm just trying to get a message out to people that when you think something's wrong or you're not sure, stop it before it gets worse.
Or ask a ton more questions. And we say this all the time, GD Roller and I know it maybe not be the right time. You can always leave.
Right.
I mean, you can leave. If you're wherewithal and you're not all drugged up, I mean, you can just get up and go to another appointment. We've had people on here that have done that.
I've walked out of a doctor's appointment that I didn't like, right? But this, I didn't know. I didn't know I was being abused until I realized I was abused.
Right.
It was too late.
Yeah. But it's not too late for you to help other people and for you to feel good about that kind of thing. I mean, that's what we do have to hold on to. Anyway, Dave, I thank you again. You've been listening to Evergreen Media Network. Stay tuned.